Welcome to program Bachelor of Science 3rd year. Subject Botany, the 5th semester, course code BOD 101, course title Plant Tissue Culture. The title of this unit is Types of Cultures. The name of this module is Micropropagation. I am Ms. Marina Janice Rodriguez, Assistant Professor in Kamal College of Arts, Science and Commerce for Women, Novae, Goa. In this module, you will be learning about micropropagation, the steps in micropropagation, advantages of micropropagations, and certain important considerations and precautions. At the end of this module, you will be able to define micropropagation, explain the steps, the advantages, and also describe certain problems faced during micropropagations and its related precautions. Micropropagation is the rapid multiplication of plants under aseptic conditions using tissue culture technique. It is an in vitro technique wherein the egg plants are grown in culture medium. It is also known as clonal propagation. As you can see in the picture, one pot of roses through micropropagation can be, can I say this again? One pot of roses can be multiplied into several pots. The main objective of clonal propagation is to produce many progeny plants which are identical in genotype with their parental plants. There are four main stages of micropropagation. Stage 1 is mother plant selection and establishment of aseptic culture. Stage 2 is the multiplication of propagules. Stage 3 is the growth and rooting of these propagules which have been multiplied in stage 2. Stage 4 is the establishment of plantlets in the soil. And at the end, the product that is obtained is many copies of the plant which is similar to the parental plant. We shall now look at it stage by stage. Stage 1 is the mother plant selection and establishment of aseptic culture. In this stage, appropriate stock plant is selected. Care is taken that the stock plant is free from diseases and is healthy. These plants are grown under controlled conditions. Thereafter, the initiation and establishment of a suitable culture is undertaken. Explants such as shoot tips and axillary buds are selected for the establishment of the culture. Stage 2 is multiplication of propagules, and this is one of the very most important stages in micropropagation. The methods of micropropagation include multiplication by axillary buds or apical shoots, multiplication by adventitious shoots, organogenesis, and somatic embryogenesis. The first one, multiplication by axillary buds and apical shoots. Axillary buds and apical shoots are observed to have actively dividing meristems. We take advantage of these actively dividing meristematic tissues and we initiate cultures from them. Meristem and shoot tip cultures. The meristem or the shoot tip, which is having maximum meristematic activity, is isolated from the stem by a V-shaped cut. A large explant is preferred so that it gives better chances of culture survival. Good results of micropropagation is obtained from explants which are taken from actively growing shoot tip, and the ideal timing for taking these shoot tips is the end of the plant dormancy period. Coming to bud cultures, just like the meristematic shoot tips, the buds also have quiescent activity or active meristems depending on its physiological state of the plant. Two types of bud cultures include single node cultures, wherein the bud found in the axil of the leaf is comparable to the stem tip for its ability in micropropagation. The bud, along with the piece of the stem, is isolated and cultured to develop into a plantlet. The second type of bud culture is axillary bud culture. Here, the shoot tip along with the axillary bud is isolated. The cultures are grown in a medium containing cytokinin, and as a result, the apical dominance is stopped and the axillary buds develop. Multiplication by adventitious shoots. Adventitious shoots like stems, bulbs, tubers, rhizomes are used for both in vitro as well as in vivo clonal propagation. As shown in the picture, adventitious roots, the meristematic regions of the adventitious shoots can be used as explants, which can be later on used to induce in the suitable medium to regenerate plants. The third one is organogenesis. Organogenesis involves the formation of plant organs such as shoots, roots, flowers, buds from the explant or the cultured plant tissue. We have two types of organogenesis. One is the direct organogenesis, wherein the tissue undergoes morphogenesis, that is development of morphological organs to form plant organs without the formation of callus. The second one is indirect organogenesis, wherein the tissue undergoes organogenesis through callus formation. This is an overview of direct and indirect organogenesis. We can see that from the explant, there is shoot formation in case of direct organogenesis, and in case of indirect organogenesis, there is an intermediate step of callus formation which then later gives shoot formation. Somatic embryogenesis is the process of regeneration of embryos from somatic cells, tissues or organs. Somatic embryos are very much similar to zygotic embryos, and they can be excised from the parent tissue and induced to germinate in tissue culture media. Here is a diagrammatic representation of two types of somatic embryogenesis, that is indirect somatic embryogenesis, wherein it is obtained from callus, and direct somatic embryogenesis, wherein the embryo is obtained without the callus. Artificial seeds from somatic embryos. Artificial seeds can be made by encapsulating somatic embryos. The somatic embryos are encapsulated with sodium alginate and nutrient medium and complexed with calcium chloride solution. These artificial seeds can be maintained in a viable state and then later used for regeneration. Stage 3 is the growth and rooting of these propagules which were multiplied in stage 2. This stage involves the elongation and proliferation of microshoots from stage 2. Rooting is induced in vitro cultures by using rooting hormones such as indole acetic acid, indole butyric acid and naphthalene acetic acid. In vitro rooting of shoots is preferred while simultaneously handling a large number of species. Stage 4 is the last stage, which deals with the establishment of plantlets in a soil. This involves acclimatization and establishment of plantlets in a soil. It is done by transferring the plantlets from the in vitro cultures in the laboratory to a greenhouse. Hardening is undertaken so that these plantlets get acclimatized and are used to the environmental stresses when they are exposed out to the environment. Advantages of micropropagation. This is an alternative approach to conventional methods of vegetative propagation. It has enhanced multiplication rate with a minimum growing space. Plenty of shoots can be obtained from a small piece of plant tissue within a short period of time. These propagules can be maintained in soil-free environment, as we have seen in aseptic culture technique. This facilitates their storage on a large scale and can be used as stocks for germplasm. Micropropagation helps to overcome the difficulty to obtain propagules in case of slow-growing plants wherein seeds are the only propagules. Micropropagation helps to raise pathogen-free plants and to maintain them. Certain important considerations and precautions. One is the contamination that is observed by bacteria and fungi. Bacteria such as Pseudomonas, Erwinia and Bacillus are major causative factor of contamination during large-scale micropropagation. These bacteria cause contamination in the media and also affect the explant. The precautions that can be taken include surface sterilization, addition of antibiotics and fungicides to the culture medium, placements of fewer explants in culture tubes, and frequent scrutiny of cultures so that at the early stage of contamination these cultures can be discarded or can be subcultured to save the healthy portion. Second one is contamination by viral pathogens. Viral pathogens do not induce symptoms in the cultures. They rapidly spread by axillary bud cultures, and the precautions include testing for infections known by viruses before initiating the cultures, a smaller piece of tissue to be used to initiate the culture to maximize risk of transferring Smaller piece of tissue to be used to initiate the culture to minimize the risk of transferring viral infection. Meristems are to be used to initiate cultures instead of axillary buds. The third one is browning in the medium. Browning is commonly found during micropropagations of woody perennials. This occurs due to accumulation of inhibiting substances in growth medium, especially during initiation of cultures. Explants from adult tissues of these species often produce excessive amounts of phenolic substances which turn the medium dark brown. The precautions to avoid browning in the medium include dissecting the explant tissues by incorporating ascorbic acid in the culture medium and quick transfer of explants to a fresh medium at short intervals. In the end, we have seen what is micropropagation, the 4 stages of micropropagations, the advantages of micropropagation, and certain important considerations and precautions for a successive micropropagation technique. These are my references. Thank you.